welcome back to the One of the Family podcast by Blue Circle Cement. I'm your host, Aisling. On today's episode, I'm joined by Steve and Alex, the father and son bricklaying duo. We get to learn a wee bit more about them and talk about what it's like working with family and the influence a parent plays in getting into the trade. We also discuss their successful YouTube channel, Bricklaying with Steve and Alex. Hi Steve, hi Alex, how are you?
Good, thanks Aisling.
Yeah, fine, thank you.
Yeah, what were you working on today?
Well, I wasn't doing anything today. It was Dad who's been doing the work today.
I've been on a repointing job today.
Great. How did that go?
Very cold.
Very cold. Can you tell us a bit of your background, like who you are and like what you do?
Shall I start?
Yeah, you start.
Obviously, I'm the dad. I left school, went straight into a YTS scheme on bricklaying course in 1985. And then I was lucky to be taken on as an apprentice, did a proper apprenticeship, and then did my advanced city and guilds. And then, what did you leave, 16?
15.
Alex left school
I left in 2015 and then got an apprenticeship with my dad almost straight away. So in between the gap between summer holidays and college, I was getting to know the waking up early and doing grown-up stuff. And then I did a 2-year course in college, level 1 and level 2, and then got me a certificate and became full-time.
Yeah. Was bricklaying something you always wanted to get into, Alex?
Yeah, well, it's always been something I've been fascinated with because I've always played with Lego when I was young, and it was just like the enjoyment of building something and saying, oh, I've done that. That was me. And then it's like Lego on a grander scale. You get to see a house and think, oh, wow, I've done that. Yeah,
it's very rewarding. Do you think the influence of your dad being a bricklayer, that played a part?
I think that definitely played a part, yeah, because I can't imagine working not with my dad because I've just seen like how other bricklayers work and all that, and the way me and my dad work, we have a much better relationship going than like some other bricklayers and their apprentices.
Yeah, do you think it's like a better atmosphere maybe working with your father?
Yeah, much better. It's a lot more, not laid back, but I'm more comfortable.
Yeah. What about you, Steve, as well? Why did you get into bricklaying?
it was by accident on my part. There's no bricklaying in the family. I actually I got 2 O-levels in metalwork. Mm-hmm. So I was heading out of school to be an engineer. But it came to go into college to be an engineer in Preston or go to the local YTS. And I didn't fancy getting the train to Preston every day. And the YTS paid £28 a week. So I went to the YTS to be a joiner. And they said, there's no joinery places. You're going to have to go and be a bricklayer. So I kind of fell into it.
Yeah, it was almost like an accident.
Yeah. Good accident though.
Yeah. Did you go out on site much whenever you were younger, Alex, with your father? Or did you wait until you kind of went to college?
I think I went on site once or twice before I went to college.
They weren't happy, though, were they?
No, they weren't happy with me going on site because I was only 16 at the time. They weren't happy with me being 16.
They don't like 16-year-olds on site because it's like toxic. They don't want to know.
But I obviously wasn't doing anything major. I was just like getting the feel of on-site work and like I was your labourer essentially for first few times, and then once I started like learning the trowel in college, I started like doing like the inside walls for Dad. Mm.
Often trade and family kind of go hand in hand, so usually it's something that's passed down through generations. Do you think that's kind of common? Do you feel like on site whenever you're on it's kind of a common theme?
Yeah, there's quite a few people that's in the family, isn't it?
Yeah, the last site we were on, the bricklayers next to us, they were father and son, weren't they?
Mick and Martin.
Yeah.
They were the same.
Do you work with anyone else amongst your team, or is it just you two?
Just the 2 of us.
Just us two, yeah. But on site, occasionally we'll get like back for the old company we worked for, we would sometimes get paired with others. We'd get paired with Kieran and Gary.
Yeah.
Was it like working together then? As you said previously, it's kind of a good atmosphere. Is it something do you prefer working with your father?
Yeah, I much prefer working with him. But obviously, when we have arguments, it's an awkward ride home in the van. but that rarely happens. We have a good laugh half the time, and like we even just little things like we make jokes when the radio comes on and everything. So it's a lot more. It makes the work more bearable being able to have a laugh with my dad.
And when one of us is having a bad day, the other one can give them a hug.
Yeah.
You can get with the bricklayers.
Yeah. How do you think it would be different if you didn't probably work with family?
I think it definitely would have been harder because my dad obviously understands me better than anyone I would have worked for otherwise. Because obviously I'm not the fastest, and if I wasn't working with you, I'd be just like, you need to be faster, get faster now, or you're off. At least with you, you're a bit more understanding, and you're not as harsh on me.
No, I just peck at you.
Yeah.
What would your advice be to family members working together, or maybe like considering it?
Be patient, look after each other, and don't let the problems come between you. Work them out with each other, work with each other. Don't let your bad days turn into an argument between you.
And don't take it all home either.
Yeah.
Any issues that you have on site, leave it on site. And
yeah, like poor mum worries to death.
Yeah, definitely. How do you like not manage to fall out or like take your workload home with you?
It's very hard. We usually just try and get our issues out in the van before we get home. We have our little rants.
We're both, we're not really arguers, we're more sulkers.
Yeah.
If he's having a bad day, he'll just go quiet and sulky. I'm pretty much the same, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's forgotten about. We've never had a big full blown argument.
Yeah. I might jinx yous. Do you talk about work at home, or is it something that's not really discussed around the kitchen table?
No, we do, don't we?
Yeah. All the time, yeah. Like we'll discuss like what we're doing in the morning, like, and then what we're doing at weekends at home, like usually at the dinner table.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say is like unique about a family business? Would you say it's like a selling point?
Yeah. We did a conservatory a couple of years ago now, and the other lads, when we do weekend work, because we work on site during the week, and we do stuff at weekends like smaller jobs, extensions, walls, conservatories, and we did this particular conservatory, and the customer said, she said, it's been really nice having you lot doing this conservatory. She says, because you and Alex, the bricklayers, are father and son, and then Jeff and Kyle, the fitters, are father and son, and then Andy and Sam, the plasterers, they were father and son.
Oh, wow.
So we know quite a few people who are, and then there's another couple of guys called Robbie and Robbie, father and son again. We've worked with all of those.
Yeah, it's quite common then for probably sons to go and do like their apprenticeship and start off the trade. Yeah. Do you find like it's easy to teach your son? Like, do you think you go harder or easier whenever you're trying to teach, obviously, your son something?
I've never taught to Alex like I was taught to when I was an apprentice. It can be really hard to be an apprentice. It's like, if it's your family, you've got more invested in them. You want them to do well, and you don't want to see them fail. And obviously, for somebody else that you're not related to, you're like you're just a commodity. If you don't shape up, then you're off. You just get somebody else in.
Was that kind of one of the reasons why you wanted Alex to do the apprenticeship with you?
I actually didn't want him to do it. I said to him, try and become either an electrician or a plumber. Because get a trade, but get one of those trades because you're not governed by the weather, which is the main sticking point of bricklaying.
My first look in college was actually at joinery, but as soon as I was with my mum and my dad, and as soon as my mum saw the massive saws that are involved with joinery, she said, "No, you're not being a joiner. I don't trust you with these saws. Let's go to the bricklaying one."
Yeah. At least you
I
know
wanted
the
to do from the
dangers.
start, but it's just because Dad was discouraging me. I thought, okay, well, I'll be a joiner if you don't want me to be a bricklayer.
Do you think, obviously you touched on it there, plumbers and electricians, they can kind of escape from the weather. Is that something that really really impacts your trade?
The weather, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we spent 6 hours sat in the van on yesterday, no, the day before. Day before. We've probably got an hour's work done. Luckily, we don't live far from home, but we've done that before. We've travelled like an 80-mile round trip to sit in the van for 2 hours and then drive back home again. It's very frustrating when the weather's against you.
And it's not, and it was even worse on the other side because before we started doing the superstructures, we did foundations, which was even worse because it's all mud and flooding and all that. So,
is having a family name attached to your business, does it add like extra pressure to do a good job?
Not really, because we're that way inclined that we're very fussy about our work, which is the more you work on site, the more you find out not a lot of bricklayers are very fussy about their work. We've only done 2 houses, haven't we?
Yeah. And
we build the houses as if we're building our own house. And we want the customer to be made up with the house. And as far as the name goes, YouTube makes you very fussy because you've got people watching you and analysing it and commenting. And the slightest little thing you get picked up on YouTube. And I've actually learned a few things. I've been at this 35 years. I'm still learning things from people on YouTube, commenting and giving me tips.
Is that kind of how you like stay up to date with things and stuff? Is it just looking at things online?
Yeah, and working on site. I've not built a house for about 15 years. Alex had never built a house before we started on this site.
Yeah.
And we have a couple of bricklayers next to us who've worked for this company for quite a few years, and they spend most of the time coming up, helping us. You've done that wrong, you've done that wrong, you need to change that, that's changed. So the rules change all the time, but these two, Colin and Paul, are fantastic. They're really helpful. Nothing's too much for them. If they see you doing something wrong, they'll tell you before you get told by the NHBC or the site manager.
Yeah. Do you think maybe the perception of sites isn't really that accurate? Like it is actually, trades do help each other?
They do, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's same. It's good and bad. It's some generally.
It just depends on the tradesperson, doesn't it? Like I remember on one of the sites that we were on, the scaffolders were just ignorant, and on this one, at least they listen to you and take your advice.
Yeah, yeah.
So I suppose it just depends on the area where you are.
Do you think probably bricklayers, like amongst themselves, are more helpful towards each other, rather than if it's a different trade?
It depends who the particular people are. I mean, we had some bricklayers and he wouldn't give us the time of day, would he? He treated us like we were trying to pinch his work, and we weren't even doing the same work as them. No. And he just wouldn't even speak to us, which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably get that in all areas of work, yeah. So you've mentioned your YouTube channel. I believe you have over 12,000 followers now.
Yeah.
When did that start? How many years has it been going now?
I think it's April 2018 we first started uploading videos.
Wow.
Yeah, because the way it started was like when I was in college, because I was an apprentice, I had a on-site assessor coming on, and then they would like want video evidence of what I was doing, so I could send it to them, and they could like beef up my my qualifications, and then we just thought, well, we could film what we do and post it onto YouTube, because there's other YouTubers that we've seen do it. So we just thought, well,
give it a go.
We'll give it a go as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you encourage maybe apprentices to maybe look into doing starting up a YouTube channel to maybe look at their work?
Oh yeah, it's not easy, but I mean, you can film on your phone and edit on your phone now.
Yeah.
It's quite easy, and YouTube are making it easier all the time. They're updating the Creative Studio all the time. It's just getting easier and easier.
Yeah. How do you manage to keep it going? Like obviously working full time as bricklayers and then managing social media and YouTube.
Well, that's all you, isn't it?
Oh, really?
People think it's him, but he just stars in it. He has nothing to do with the channel.
I have no idea how to use technology, ironically enough.
I turned 50 in 2018, so Alex's sister and his mum bought me a Mac, and then I basically went on YouTube and typed in how to edit videos and learned from there.
Oh wow! Was it like something you'd ever been interested in before, like creating videos or social media?
I'd always wanted to do our Florida holidays, but it just never really happened, did it?
No.
We did, filmed loads of stuff for holidays, but never really got round to it. And then we did a couple of Lego videos. And then when we went into the proper, we just went full into Bricklaying then.
Yeah. How often do you post now?
Every Friday.
Every Friday. And do you stick to it?
We have a premiere every Friday, 8:30. It's a regular thing. We get all the regulars coming in.
Yeah. Do you have like a regular followers then as well?
Yeah, we have a very loyal fan base. We comment on every video.
We've got like a little mini community almost.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes we'll have like the odd idiot coming in to comment some just to be mean, and like all the loyal people will just come on right onto them. Like, and defend us. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think people get out of it? Is it mostly like bricklayers coming on to see what you're up to, or is it people trying to learn how to do something?
Bit of both, isn't it? Because we've had some people comment saying like they've been wanting to try and build something, so they've watched our videos to like help, and then again it's sort of just people just coming to see what we're doing next.
A lot of retired tradesmen like watching it. We had a message on Instagram today off somebody, and he'd actually tagged us into his Instagram post to say that he always wants to build his own extension, and he said he'd used our videos as help, and he's built this fantastic extension. And he's not a bricklayer, and he's made a lovely job of it. And he mentioned us in it.
Yeah,
that's really
nice.
Yeah, it must be very rewarding whenever you see something like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, there was one time when we were doing a fence in our garden, and I don't even know what he was. Was he a tradesperson? Delivery man. And he just drove past, and like he stopped his van and said, "Are you Steve and Alex from YouTube?" It was mind boggled. It's like, this is what we do with other people, like approaching them. And
that was our first spot, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then he came around later and asked for a photograph.
Aw, that's lovely.
It was surreal being on the other side of that. Usually I'm like going up to people asking for pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you get recognised a lot?
Not really.
Not really, to be honest, no.
I think it's only twice. 3 times. Yeah. Someone in the building merchant spotted us.
Yeah.
So no one on site has kind of been like, "Oh, these are the guys that do the YouTube videos."
The site we're on now, nobody knows, do they?
Nobody knows yet.
So but the last site we're on, everybody knew. They were trying to like walk past as we filmed the videos and walk past.
Yeah.
They want to get in on it.
Yeah.
Do you just like set up your phone and just start recording? Is that how you go about it?
We do it on GoPro.
Yeah, on GoPro. Yeah. And you think about what you're going to video, or do you just do it whatever you're working on that day?
It's like this pointing job. I'm not filming it at the moment, but I might film it because when you're doing all the grinds, and basically, if I film that, I just get loads of people telling me off for making the dust. So now the dust is gone, I'll probably film that. But normally, we tend to film everything, really, don't we?
Yeah, we'll film like as much as we can, and just like crop out all the you crop out all the unnecessary bits.
You nicely corrected yourself there, Alex.
It's like we've just done this house. It stretched out over weeks, didn't it?
Yeah.
So I've just done the video where we've just picked bits of it. So it's gone from like scaffold height to the top, but like edited right down, but showing all the bits of the house that we've done.
Yeah, it's a great like catalogue of work to be able to look back on and see what all you've done. Yeah,
that's the other good thing. Yeah,
and you get to see your progress as well.
Yeah.
What advice would you give for someone who's looking to start creating content, or like start up a YouTube channel or start posting on Instagram their work?
Go for it. It's not. It was difficult for me because we never learned computers in school, so it was all new for me. I couldn't even switch the Mac on when I first got it. But these kids who've done it in school, I mean, you do the Instagram mainly, don't you?
I handle the Instagram bit, yeah.
And the YouTube bit, like I say, it's very, you get stuck, you just go on YouTube, how to edit a video, how to upload a video, and it's made very easy now.
Yeah. Lastly, do you think it's dying out, like children following in their parents' footsteps of like entering into the trade, or do you think it's still going?
It's a hard one, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Because when I was in college, I was the only one who wanted to be there. Everyone else had like failed all the tests, so they had to be there.
The training's not very good now. It's gone downhill over the years. Like when I did it, it was like a 3-year apprenticeship. Now it's 2 years, isn't it? But it's part-time. I used to have to go to college for a full day every week and then do night classes. But you were just like, you did 1 day a week, didn't you?
I did 1 day. Well, they didn't even know pardon me. They didn't know what to do with apprentices. So I was just like, I just kind of went along with it.
It's all sort of fast track now, and it's like even your CSCS card to get on site. I had to prove that I'd done my apprenticeship. And nowadays, I think they're not even recognised what I did. It's all about these MVQs, I think they're called. You have to like retrain sometimes. And you're talking about bricklayers who've been at it for 20 years. They've got to retrain to get this card to get on site.
Is that something you have to do?
You need a CSCS card. It's a health and safety thing.
What advice would you give then, Alex, for anyone maybe thinking of starting college to be bricklayer or anything like that?
I would say go for it, yeah, because like Dad went on there, you've got a trade. It's like if you've got a trade, you've got a job for life practically, because you can always do something. And you just take pride in your work is one of the main things to do. Because, like I say, when I look at something and say that I built that, I want to be able to be proud of that. So just like stick to it. Like even on the hard days, just think of the end game, and take pride in your work.
Yeah.
Listen and ask questions.
Yeah, listen as well, because like I've been doing this 5 years and I'm still learning new stuff.
So am I. But if you show you're interested, people will want to teach you. If you're just there just for when's break time, when's home time, no one's going to want to teach you. You've got to show that you want to learn, and people will enjoy you teaching you then.
Yeah, it's probably one of the advantages of having your father beside you on site.
You can't be getting sick either. That's a big thing.
No Mondays off.
No.
It was, and I suppose whenever you're putting it up on YouTube as well, like people will see if you do any shortcuts or anything like that.
Yeah.
They'll be more than happy to point them out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was great. It was great catching up with you both and hearing a wee bit more about what it's like to work with family, the bricklaying trade, and apprenticeships, and seeing Nick learn more about your YouTube channel. So I think that would be really helpful for anyone that is considering creating content and putting it up.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks for having us.